Hello and welcome to History Through Question.
Today's topic is Sulh-e-Kul. It is an Arabic word whose literal meaning is peace with all or universal peace or absolute peace. And this concept talks about the peace, and it is mainly drawn from Sufi mystic principle. And this doctrine, that is the Sulh-e-Kul, it was and central to the Akbar's theory of kinship. So Akbar took this Sufi mystic notion of Sulh-e-Kul and transformed it to become a principle denote the amity. Amity means friendship. Friendship or the cooperative and the supportive relationships between the people. It is because due to the culturally pluralistic India, that is why he adopted this doctrine, that is the Sulh-e-Kul. Culturally pluralistic India. According to Abu Fazl, the heart of the king is the repository of divine light, and that is the Far-e-Izadi. And this divine light enables the emperor to differentiate between what is right and the wrong. So Sulh-e-Kul became his method, that is the Akbar's method of judging what was legally right or wrong within his empire, and it is because of this it created. Because Akbar's very much clearly understood that he was trying to build political institutions, that is he was Akbar's try to build a political institutions that was predominantly for the non-Muslim society. So due to which this Akbar's introduced this concept, that is the Sulh-e-Kul, which talks about the universal peace, because he wanted all his subjects to be judged equally before the law, and there is no differentiation among them, that is the Muslims or among the non-Muslims. So all are considered to be the equal before the law. Okay, now let us see the several features of Sulh-e-Kul. So first of all, it was the doctrine, that is that this doctrine of the Sulh-e-Kul, it was central to Akbar's theory of kinship. It's an important fact, please remember. Second is it believes in the idea of universal peace or the universal tolerance. Third is it is inclusive in character because it tried to incorporate all the members of the society, either the Muslims or the non-Muslims. So it is inclusive in character. Because it considers every section of the population equal to each other without any discriminations between the people of the different religions during the Akbar's realm. And fourth an important one, because Sulh-e-Kul promoted the meritocracy. which allowed the Akbars to appoint the best of the person under the state having the different capacity. अब सिर्फ इस बेस पे नहीं होगा यू आर द मुस्लिम्स और यू बिलोंग टू द रॉयल फैमिली, नाउ यू आर अपॉइंटेड, बिकॉज अब ये जो प्रिंसिपल अडॉप्ट किया गया है दैट इज द मेरिटोक्रेसी, सो इन विच द ऑफिसर्स आर ओपन टू ऑल, जो भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिसर्स हैं और जो भी ऑफिशियल पोस्ट हैं, जो भी हाई एंड पोस्ट हैं, दीज आर ओपन टू ऑल, एंड उन पे जो अपॉइंटमेंट होगा ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मेरिटोक्रेसी, जो भी एबल पर्सन होगा, जो उसके लायक होगा, वो उसको अचीव करेगा. Okay, and this Sulh Kul, the principles of the Sulh Kul adopted by the Akbars, it played an important role behind the success of Akbar's Rajput policy, because later when we discuss in detail Akbar's Rajput policy, we will see that Akbar's appointed various Rajput and it played an important role in helping Akbars in administrations. At the same time, it also allows the Akbar to maintain control over the peripheral areas as well. These are the essential elements of Sulh Kul, Akbar's doctrine of Sulh Kul. Now, Akbar introduces this doctrine, and one of its main aim is to integrate the non-Muslims into high position. That is, Akbar's ये जो डॉक्ट्रिन थी सुलह कुल, इट्स वन ऑफ द मेन एम इज टू इंटीग्रेटेड non-Muslims into mainstreams or the high position, which was earlier reserved for the royal families or the person belongs to the same community, that is the Muslims. At the same time, to remove various civil disabilities that non-Muslims faced in the Muslim state. So we will talk about the Mughals. And we all know that Akbar believed in the idea of welfare state. Akbar believes in the idea of welfare state, due to which he initiated a number of measures that not only benefit the Muslims but also benefit the Hindus as well. ठीक है, और जो वेरियस सिविल डिसेबिलिटीज़ थी जो हिंदू फेस करते थे और जो नॉन मुस्लिम फेस करते थे इन मुस्लिम लैंड में, उसको भी इरेडिकेट किया. सच एज ही इंट्रोड्यूसेस separation of state and religion. Now the religious person, that is the ulemas, did not allow to interfere in the affairs of the state. Second is he opened government positions to all men that belongs to all religion. So a concept of meritocracy, government positions to all religion. Third is he abolished jizya, that is the poll tax that non-Muslims, it's a poll tax that non-Muslim used to pay in order for their security in the Muslim land. And he also abolished the forced conversion of non-Hindus जो कि प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर होते थे. कोई भी लड़ाई में जो प्रिजनर्स कैप्चर किए जाते थे उनका फोर्स कन्वर्जन कराया जाता. तो ही ऑल्सो स्टॉप द फोर्स कन्वर्जन. Now on the civil codes, he also reformed the civil codes. That is, the Akbar abolished laws that discriminated against the non-Muslims in comparison to the Muslims. He abolished he reformed the civil codes laws. Now he raised the Hindu court systems to an official status side by side the Muslim law. So now the subjects that are the non-Muslims or the Hindu subjects, आर टू बी, अब उनको हिंदू लॉ के हिसाब से उनको जुडिशियल प्रोसीडिंग्स होती थी, ना कि सिर्फ मुस्लिम लॉ के हिसाब से. नाउ ही ऑल्सो रिफॉर्म लेजिस्लेशन विद एन एम टू मैक्सिमाइज कॉमन लॉज फॉर मुस्लिम्स एंड द हिंदू कल्चर. Okay, so he reformed various legislation and introduced laws which was common to both Muslims and non-Muslims. So there is no sort of discriminations, that is the Muslims or as well as the Hindu citizens. Okay, now sometimes the Sulh-e-Kul doctrine, that is the Sulh-e-Kul doctrine, equates with the Akbar's Din-e-Hilai. Now Din-e-Hilai, sometimes the various historians emphasize that it's a new religion that was means invented or founded by the Akbars, but it was not a new religion. It was not a new religion, either is a pantheistic sect. Pantheistic sect in the sense that the sects having good elements of different faith, that is the गुड एलिमेंट. सो जो अकबर्स का दीन इलाही था, ये सारे सेक्ट को, सारे रिलीजियस में जो भी गुड एलिमेंट हैं, ये सबको इनकॉर्पोरेट करता था. एंड इट वॉज नॉट अ न्यू रिलीजन. एंड एट द सेम टाइम सुलह कुल वॉज नॉट ऑल्सो एन, इट वॉज नॉट इक्वेट विद द दीन इलाही. सो इट वॉज, दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ऑल्सो रॉन्ग बिकॉज इट नॉट इक्वेट विद दीन इलाही, बिकॉज Sulh-e-Kul is a policy or a doctrine that talks about the peace or the harmonious coexistence of all these sections in the society. That is why it cannot be equated with the Akbar's Din-e-Ilahi. But yes, Sulh-e-Kul, it played an important role in forming the Akbar's religious policy. When we do Akbar's religious policy or the Akbar religious reforms, we will discuss in detail. Okay. So till now the Sulh-e-Kul was not equipped with the Akbar's Din-e-Ilahi. Now it was about the Akbar. Now the Jahangir. Later Jahangir along with the, and after that the Shah Jahan, they both continued this Akbar's theory of the kinship almost in the same form, and they don't make any alterations or much alterations in this theory of the kinship. So these notions continued with the Jahangir and the Shah Jahan. But during the reign of Aurangzeb, the secular character of the state got replaced with the Islamic emphasis on the polity. So now this time जो secular character था, ये जो हमने सुलह कुल की पॉलिसीज के जो एलिमेंट्स डिस्कस किए थे, सम सॉर्ट ऑफ सेकुलर इन नेचर, ये जो था अब ये इसको नहीं रहा, बिकॉज इट एम्फसाइज अपॉन द इस्लामिक लॉ जो औरंगजेब है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई ही नॉट कंटिन्यूड दिस पॉलिसी और द अकबर्स पॉलिसी ऑफ अकबर्स थ्योरी ऑफ किनशिप. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द सुलह कुल. नाउ लेट्स सी वन क्वेश्चन relating the same. Consider the following statement regarding Sulh-e-Kul. First statement says that the Sulh-e-Kul emphasized upon the equal toleration and the respect to all sections irrespective of their religious belief. Second statement says that the doctrine of Sulh-e-Kul was central to the Aurangzeb theory of kinship. You have to choose the correct answer. In order to attempt this question, please pause this video screen and write your answer in the comment section below. The correct answer is E only, because in second statement it says this doctrine of Sulh-e-Kul, it was central to the Aurangzeb. No, it was not central to the Aurangzeb, but it was central to the Akbar's theory of kinship. Even Aurangzeb not emphasized or not continued this Akbar's theory of kinship, that is he was not continued the secular character of the state. So if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching this.